Cops responded to what at first appeared to be just another emergency. A young girl, Nancy Lohman, had become entangled in a fishing net out on the lake. An unusually large leech had attached itself to Nancy's arm. The responding officer mistakenly thought cutting the creature would kill it. He had no way of knowing that when his knife sliced into the leech, the creature's razor-sharp teeth would bite even deeper into the girl's flesh. Unbeknownst to those present, this was the third time in the past 4 months that paramedics had been called to such an emergency.
I used to think medicine could save mankind. Now, in the age of AIDS, I feel like a little Dutch boy with his finger stuck in the dike. I yearn for a simpler time, when the blood-sucking leech was considered to be a medical marvel. There are those who flee from the insanity modern medicine and technology have wrought, but where can one hide on this planet that has become one gigantic, disease-ridden village?
The residents around Lake Jordon in an undisclosed locale in Alabama certainly had nowhere to hide. They had noticed definite environmental changes since this plant, run by a private company called Bioguard, set up operations 5 years ago. The water had become brackish, dead fish frequently washed up on the shore, and a strange seaweed-like substance was seen growing near the beach. A pungent odor often filled the air. Additionally, and most ominously, fishermen had reported a proliferation of what seemed to be large eels in the normally sedate waters. On an otherwise beautiful spring morning, the residents of the area were going to discover the poisoning of their lake had produced a nightmare of Frankensteinian proportions. Bioguard, the company that owned the plant, was involved in genetic engineering. Bioguard scientists were studying the genetic mutations that cause many types of genetic disorders. Like other companies, Bioguard realized great profits lay in the answer to the question of how cancerous tissues were created from healthy cells. It can only be imagined how much toxic waste was produced as a result of Bioguard's experimentation. But it had been documented that Bioguard, like many companies, sought to save huge carting costs by dumping their waste directly into the environment. In this case, Lake Jordon. Cops responded to what at first appeared to be just another emergency. A young girl, Nancy Lohman, had become entangled in a fishing net out on the lake. An unusually large leech had attached itself to Nancy's arm. The responding officer mistakenly thought cutting the creature would kill it. He had no way of knowing that when his knife sliced into the leech, the creature's razor-sharp teeth would bite even deeper into the girl's flesh. Unbeknownst to those present, this was the third time in the past 4 months that paramedics had been called to such an emergency.
I don't know, I tried to cut the thing off. I don't know if it's working or not. Come on now, come on. You gotta burn it off and you can't put the motorization on it. It's alright. You got it tangled up with some wire out there. No, it's not gonna burn it off. What I need to do is you need to calm down and relax, okay? I need to get some vitals on you before we can try to remove this. Remember what happened, Nancy? Okay, just relax.
You got tangled up with some boat rope out there.
Just relax. It ain't gonna
tangled
hurt.
up and then the leech must have
Okay?
when we were out in the water.
Just relax.
Well, thank goodness at this time she is alive. The paramedics, when they first got to the scene, attempted to use some type of solution to remove the creature.
You okay?
The solution was 70% sodium acetate, which causes the blood in the leech to gather near the surface. The leech reacted by driving its teeth even deeper into the girl's arm.
Not your arm. It's not going to hurt you. You're going to get the torch, okay? We're going to burn it off.
like that in my life.
We're going to have to put this around. Nancy, what I'm doing, I'm putting it around your arm, all right? Just 4 pounds.
Oh, calm down. Okay. Nancy, I need you to stay still, okay? Try to stay calm. The more you move, the more it's going to hurt. Nancy, listen to me now. Calm down.
When all else failed, the paramedics were forced to use a butane torch to burn off the huge leech. The torch singed the girl's arm badly, but burning is the only way known to remove a leech, short of full amputation of the appendage. Ironically, had the paramedics amputated the girl's arm, she might have lived. Toxins found in the leech and linked to Bioguard's genetic experiments were later revealed to have caused the girl's death.
We won't go near the water.
We used to swim here. We don't anymore. Well, a few years ago, they built a plant down the river. And now, you can't even swim in the water. The fish are dead. There's no boats out there anymore. Nobody even wants to live here.
It stinks.
The complaints and fears of these residents are the lament of citizens the world over. Yet the death and madness continue as the quest for profits poisons more and more of the environment.